Welcome back to the Educator.com's Adobe Premiere Pro CS6 video course. And in this video, we're going to go over the standard digital video workflow. Now, as you can see, this isn't the film workflow, which is a lot different from the digital video workflow. Using a linear editor versus a nonlinear editor is it makes your job easier, and it also makes it more difficult. So, there's several steps to doing digital video, and the first step is acquiring your video, which is the same for a film workflow, which I'm telling you the film and the digital video workflow, the similarities and the differences. So if you do end up working on film in the future, you will know, you won't be lost in the workflow. You'll know exactly what happens. And a lot of times, I will tell you, a lot of times in a, say, you go to a Universal Picture, United Artists, Paramount, Sony, you might only have a single job of editing and nothing else. You won't do any color correction. You won't do any of the acquisition. You won't do any titling. You won't do anything for the physical product like the DVD or the Blu-ray disc. All you will do will be editing the video together. And if you are the editor of a major motion picture, during the filming, you will be putting together your rough cut, and then once filming is concluded, I believe directors have 3 months of time that they can sit down and work with you directly to, they have a minimum of, I believe, 3 months that they can sit down and work with you directly to make your edit complete. Well, as much as you can. And that your edit is the rough cut, and the director's is the director's cut, obviously. And then there's another cut, which is the final cut, which is what the studio puts together themselves. But acquiring the video, if you're working on a major film, you're not going to be acquiring the video. A lot of these steps you won't be doing if you're doing that. But if you're making, say, an independent movie, or working for, say, making commercials or other things that people are hiring you to do, you might be acquiring the video. You might be doing all of these steps, actually. Most likely you'll be doing all of these steps. So acquiring the video is actually going out and filming or shooting the video with your camera. That's the actual getting it into the camera so you can then go in and edit it. If it's film, then you have a big film camera, you're filming it, you're going to get it processed at the lab, and they will give you back the film so you can cut it together. Capturing the video is also it seems like it's the same thing as acquiring the video, but it's not. Capturing is when, let's say you have a digital video camera. It's on tape, so it's a digital file, but it's on tape, and you have to get that into the computer before you can edit it, obviously. You have to digitize the footage. And that's what the capturing the video does. You might need to have somebody else do it. One of the videos in this course, I will show you how to capture from tape, just so you will have it to where you can, if you have to, you can connect the camera directly to your computer and capture inside of Premiere. But most of the time, people are using now for digital video, they're using cameras that have an SD card or a CF card or a P2 card. It'll be a card that you put into the camera that will it'll record the file and make it an actual file. So when we go over importing the video, I will show you how to get the video off of those cards and into your computer properly before you start editing your video. Now, after you've captured your video, the next thing you want to do is organizing your clips. And organization, I have an entire video here on organization, specifically because organizing at the beginning and throughout your whole process will make your job a lot easier. If you have things just scattered around all over your computer, trying to find them is going to be a nightmare, especially if you have a deadline, which most projects have a deadline. They want their commercial ready by the 1st of the month so they can start running it on the 1st. And if you don't have it there, you've broken your contract and you get to pay out a lot of money because they don't have their commercial. So organizing is a very important, it's so important. I created an entire video just on organizing your clips inside of Premiere so you'll be able to find them quickly. The next part is building your rough cut. And that's just throwing together the scenes in the order and roughly cutting the clips. It's not a frame accurate cut. It's just tossing them all on the timeline and figuring out, okay, does this scene work with this scene? Does this one, do we want to have this scene before this one or that one? You might have the same thing happening in two different locations in the movie, and you need to have one happen before the other or vice versa. That way you can watch it pretty much all the way through, and your rough cut will usually be anywhere from 10 to 30 or 40, maybe even 50% longer than the final cut of the movie or even the director's cut. Just because there's no frame accurate editing in it. But it will give you a good idea of how it's going to come out. And you might find as you're building your rough cut that scenes are missing that didn't get filmed for some reason or another. And you can go in and say, we need to reshoot this scene. There might be some problem with one of the scenes. You have to reshoot it. Or again, it's missing completely, and if you don't have it, your movie is messed up. It's not going to work properly. Or there might be major plot holes. You might go, hey, this guy was leaving the building here, and somehow he got over here. How did he get there so quickly? So there might be a plot hole that you have to fill by going out and reshooting a scene or two just to make it so your film or your video comes out properly. Now, after you have the rough cut, then you will have your transitions and effects. Transitions are changes from scene to scene or from shot to shot. So you might have two people talking, and one scene you see they do a one shot of one person talking, then they do reverse shot of the other person talking, then they do a two shot. You see two people in the shot, and then it goes back and forth, and there's no transition other than a straight cut between those video pieces, and there's no reason to put a dissolve or anything else between those scenes. But there might be, you're ending the day, so you fade to black. You're starting a new day in the movie, it's fading out from black, and your fade out and fade in shows the viewer that you're going to a different time or a different place. So the transition is easing them to the next scene. And effects are effects that if you do any type of say black and white, or you need to put a scene in motion, or you need to fix it, or say fix the color or anything like that. That's what the effects are. It lets you add things, and you also have doing titles and things like that. Those can also be effects. But